Hi, grade nines. So today we are doing the topic of graphs, and I want to show you how to plot a graph. So we will be plotting a graph given information. So we are going to plot a graph. But first I want us to interpret the table that I will give to you. Right, so let's start here. Let's say you are given this equation. Well, in grade 9, you have two methods that you can use to plot a graph. And the first one is called a table method. Right, so with the table method, you have your x's and your y's. So basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the y values using the x values. Now with the x values, it's something that you are going to use. Right, so with the x values, it's numbers that you're going to use, and I'll show you where these numbers are coming from. Right, so to plot a graph, you only need 2 points. So in this case, I only have 5 points that I want to show you with, and you will see what's going to happen. Right, so this is an equation, and these are our x values, and I'll show you where these x values come from when I start drawing the Cartesian plane. Right, so we are going to use these x values to substitute into the equation so that we can find the y values. You have done this when you're doing functions and relationships, so this shouldn't be difficult. Now, let's start. We have y is equal to 2x plus 1. We're going to start with the first value of x. So meaning in the place of x, for the first one, we're going to substitute negative 2 plus 1. Now, if we multiply 2 times negative 2, we're going to get negative 4 plus 1, which is equal to negative 3. So meaning when x is negative 2, it means our y is going to be negative 3. Right, we do the same for the whole table. Y is equal to, in the place of x, we're going to put negative 1 plus 1. So 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 plus 1, which is equal to negative 1. So we're going to put negative 1. In the place of x, we will be putting 0 this time. 2 times 0 plus 1. So 2 times 0 is equal to 0 plus 1, which is going to give us 1. And we put 1. In the place of 1, in the place of x, now we're going to put 1. And this is going to be 2 times 1, which is 2 plus 1, which is equal to 3. So we're going to put 3. Then in the place of x again, we're going to put 2. 2 times 2 plus 1. So now we have 4 plus 1, which is equal to 5. So we're going to have 5 here. Right, these are points. Now you're going to understand them when I put them on the set of x's. Alright guys, so let's start plotting. But before we plot, I want you to look at this. So this is called a Cartesian plane. Now we use a Cartesian plane to draw our graphs mostly. Here we have 0. See where the lines are crossing? We have 0. This is where you find 0. Now from 0 to this line, it doesn't end. Now when I put arrows like this, it means this line is continuous. It doesn't end anyway till infinity. So from 0 to this side, we have what we call positive x values, meaning this is where all the x values are positive. And from 0 to this other side of the Cartesian plane, you find your negative x values. This is where you get your negative numbers up until negative infinity. And then from here, we have positive y's. From 0 upward, we have the positive y values up until infinity. And then from 0 downwards, we have negative y. So this is how a Cartesian plane works. On the vertical, we have the y-axis. On the horizontal, we have the x-axis. But now this 0 divides our Cartesian plane into the positives and the negatives. So we have negative and positive x-axis. We have negative y's and positive y values. Right, so how do we plot this? Now, we call these points. Now, these points are always in pairs. Sometimes we call them coordinates. Now, coordinates are written as in a bracket with a semicolon. Now, this is the x and this is the y. So, this is how we write points. We write them as x values is to y values. It's always like this. Right. Now, how would we write these points? We'd write them as -2 and -3. So these ones are going to be our pairs. We can't pair this x value with this y value. They move with their pairs, meaning when the x value is -2, our y value is going to be -3. So this is our first pair. If we were to write our second pair, we would write it as -1 and -1, like that. And this is going to be our y value. So for x, we have -1. For y, we have -1. That's how we write our coordinates. Now, I want us to talk about our y values to be specific. So when we look at our x values, you see we start with -2, then -1, 0, 1, 2. This is what we're going to do. On the positive x's, we already have 0, so we're going to put 1 and we're going to put 2. Then on this side, we're going to have -1 and we're going to have -2 because our x-axis says this is what we need to have. So now do you understand where these negative numbers are coming from? When we have a Cartesian plane, we cannot only consider positive numbers, but we also have to check our negative numbers. Right, then we go to the y's. With the y's, you see the numbers are mixed up in a way. It's not like a pattern, but now we need to look at our highest number, and you can see it's 5. So meaning we can count in ones up until we get to 5. So for the y, I'm going to count up until 5. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you had this as 20 and you have all these numbers, big numbers, you need to choose a scale. You cannot count random. You cannot look at these numbers and start putting them like that. No, you have to have a scale when you have your graph. So if the numbers are ending at maybe 20, then you can count in 2, 4, 6 to make it more faster, or maybe you're counting in threes. It depends on the numbers that you have, but you need to have a scale. So this is going to be -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. Right, so I'm looking at my numbers. I'm not going to draw a very long, large Cartesian plane that... No, you draw according to the numbers that you have, and you check, of course, because we don't want to work extra hard in maths. We try and be smart about things. So how do we pair our coordinates on the Cartesian plane? We're going to start with the first one. You see, x is -2 and y is -3. Right, we go to a Cartesian plane. We have our x as -2. So you're going to stop here. But we need a negative y, which is -3, and the y's are negative here. So this is how you're going to move. You're going to move like this. Gosh, I'm not straight, guys. Oh, wow, this is not straight. But our point is supposed to be here. So that's how you can do it with the pencil. But I don't like the dotted line because it's going to mess up my things. But you can do it. It's still fine. -1 with -1. So -1 is here. -1 is there for the y. So we're going to put our point here. This is our second point. Another point is at 0. So x is 0, but y should be 1. So if x is 0, even y is 0 here. So x and y is 0 here. But we only want the x value where x is 0 and y is 1. So if x is 0, y is going to be here, which is y is going to be 1. And then we plot 1, we go to 1, and we must plot it with 3. So if +1 is here, then our y value for 3 is there. You see that? Then for 2, if we're here at 2, then we have to be up there for 5. Do you see that? And now we connect our dots. I am not straight, guys. You need a ruler to do this, so I'm not straight at all. Yes, my hand is very shaky. So this is how a straight line looks. And then you're supposed to write the equation of your straight line. So this is the equation of this line right here. And I'll explain what the 2 and the 1 mean. Y is equal to 2x plus 1. Now I'm going to give you an equation with the same x values. I want you to plot the following graph. Right, so I'm going to erase this and I'm going to write 3x minus 2. I want you to plot that, and then we will continually explain what is a straight line.